Is now the right time to buy gold? It's pretty expensive, but I do think gold has a lot more to give. I've been buying for 8 years and some of it's doubled for me. And I do think that this stuff is going to continue to rise and be the wealth preserver that we want it to be and need it to be, quite frankly. The world is in a bit of a state when it comes to debt, finance, and trouble. So, is now a good time to buy gold at these all-time highs? I think so, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly for why. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another precious metal ramble where we shoot the breeze about all things precious and shiny. Gold, it's high right now, isn't it? It seems unobtainable at nearly £2,000 an ounce. I think we're going to see that watershed number in the not too distant future here in the United Kingdom. Of course, in US dollars, 2,500 plus per ounce. It's making this stuff here look a lot more affordable and a lot more accessible to the masses. Now, I'm here to kind of throw a spanner in the works. You may love silver and I love silver. I think it's got a lot of potential, but there is no argument in my mind to be had that gold's better, that gold has performed better historically. And I think it will continue to perform better than silver going forwards into the future. There's no guarantee of that. I could be completely wrong. If I am, then I've got some silver and I've hedged my bets somewhat. So at these high prices, is gold a good buy? Should we just give it a bit of a skip, wait for the price to come down a bit? Well, you've got to have some skin in the game to have a chance of winning the game. And in my opinion, I think that buying gold right now is as good as any time that I've been a buyer of gold throughout my 10 years. Not quite 10 years, but they say tenure for those who have experience in this game. I've been buying gold since 2017, and I've seen some of my gold double in price. And I remember making videos all the way back in the early days of my channel saying, if gold doubles, who's going to buy it? Will anybody buy it? And we're seeing one of the most buoyant markets out there for gold still. So there's obviously demand and somebody's going to buy it. It's the new norm. Gold is that monetary standard that keeps the norm going. That's the whole point of gold. So we'll talk a lot about that and much more in this video, I'm sure, as we go off on our tangential rambles about this stuff. I do this to get the brain juices flowing, to ask the questions that you might not hear on the doom and gloom naysaying channels that say that you have to buy this stuff and only this stuff, and if you don't buy this stuff, you're going to miss out. That's just not necessarily true. I've got lots of experience in this game. I don't know it all though. It's going to vary from person to person. Geographically as well, it's going to vary. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Is now the right time to buy gold? Where will it be? Where's the price point going to hit? When this year do you think £2,000 an ounce is going to happen? Because I think it's going to happen this year, but I don't know when. We'll have to see. Let me know down in the comment section, and also don't forget to hit the like button if you're enjoying our bit of a ramble about silver and gold. So, yeah, I remember making videos saying if gold and silver were to double in price, that who would buy it, basically, was the premise of the question. It was one of the very earliest kind of precious metal rambles. I didn't really call them that back then, but you know, it's an important question to ask. And exit strategies, that's something I've been harping on about probably since nearly day one of my videos. Just saying, you need to know how you're going to get out of gold and silver before you even get into gold and silver. And it's something that a lot of people just ignore for whatever reason. I don't quite understand why somebody wouldn't. I mean, there's a lot of sort of sometimes immaturity around sort of the gold and silver investing world, saying, well, you can't go wrong, so it's fine, just get in, get your feet in. As I said, you've got to have some skin in the game to have a chance of winning the game. And a lot of people just kind of do that, and they use it almost a little bit like a savings account. In my opinion, that's a risky thing to do because you are at risk of the markets going up and down. Spot price changes a lot in a short space of time on the downward trend, which it has done a number of times before in the past. You could be a little bit in trouble if you have to sell. So planning where you're going to be is very important. Now, could I have predicted, I don't know if I actually did, I'm going to have to look back at some of my videos perhaps, to say, would gold double in 8 years? I don't think I expected it to double in 8 years. You know, there's a reason why gold has doubled in the last 8 years, and unfortunately that is because of a world of pain and issue that's happened through various different geopolitical situations, COVID, yeah, there's just a whole load of reasons, debt spiral crisis, cost of living, inflation. There's just so many reasons why gold is where it is right now. And you've got to look at where we are right now as to where we might be going in the future. And there is just no real way in my mind that I can't see gold continuing to go up. You look at the debt levels that we've got, and look, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial expert, I'm not an investment guru. I'm just a guy who firmly believes that right now in this world, there's a great big amount of debt. If we can get the camera to focus on this beautiful gold coin, there's a lot of debt in the world, and there's going to continue to be a lot of debt in the world. There was a report that just came out last week that said that in the next 50 years, the UK's national debt will treble. I mean, we're not even going to be close to getting even on the debt, let alone bringing debt down, I think. So that's not good for the pound. The pound is going to devalue over time. And the only way that you can really secure that value of your cash is with assets. And that could be a house, that could be gold, that could be silver, that could be other tangible things. There are plenty of others right now that are, viable markets to put your money in. Some a lot more risky than others, collectibles being one. But gold and silver is that kind of long-term thing. And you just got to look at the history. You've just got to look at the history. It's something that will always follow the value of your currency. So does that mean now is still a good time to buy? Well, I personally think so. And again, with a pinch of salt that I'm not a financial advisor, I have accumulated some more gold over the last sort of 6 months or so. I've been sort of secret squirreling away little bits here and there. And that culminated with my exchange swap that I did with Atkinson's a couple of months ago, about a month ago actually now. And at that meet, I bought some half sovereigns because I wanted to rebalance the constituent nature of my stack. I did have a fair proportion of sort of 1 ounce denominated gold because when I got started in this game back 8 years ago, 1 ounce gold was kind of the gold standard size. It was the demand size. That's what people really wanted. The premiums were low on it. And, it's still an ounce of gold. It's an expensive purchase to lay out for. But at £1,000, it's certainly, if you were offered £1,000 for an ounce of gold right now, you'd bite someone's hand off. But now, £2,000, that's a lot. It is a lot to pay for gold. And, there's obviously postage costs have gone up as well. So I wanted to rebalance that. So sovereigns are the thing. And along that, I wanted to get more fractional stuff because I do think that whilst now is a good time to buy gold, it has to be in the right form. If you're buying gold right now, you might think it's a little bit unobtainable because of the price points. £2,000 for an ounce of gold right now from a dealer. That's a lot of money. And that's a lot of money to stick into one coin. If you needed to sell it for paying a £500 bill, then you'd have to sell the whole thing. But if you have a sovereign, you're a lot better off. And there's postage and insurance questions around posting large ounce gold coins. That might become a factor in the future. If gold continues to rise and goes above £2,500 an ounce, then we in the United Kingdom will have issues posting that gold because it will not be insured. And that is going to be a problem. Like this dragon is a stunner. I bought this for a sort of long-term beauty piece that I want to have rather than an investment specifically in the gold because there are plenty of things wrong with it. It's big, it's chunky, it's just going to be too expensive to post somewhere. Even now it's £4,000. So you can't post this really without taking a risk or having the insurance. And it's capital gains taxable. So, I will be probably having to pay some tax on this at some point in the future if I sell it, when I sell it. But I don't know if I will sell it. Perhaps this will be passed down through future generations of the Backyard Bullion household. Who knows? But it's certainly not something I'm too worried about, because I do feel there's growth to be had within the world of gold and silver. So right now, gold is high. Does that make it unobtainable? There's this misconception that gold is unobtainable and it's too expensive. Now look, I'm in a position of fortune. Is that the right way? I'm fortunate that I have some money, is what I'm saying. I understand that there are people in this world who struggle to save. I was one of those people a very long time ago. I spent money going out every bloody weekend and having the latest phone and TV and a cool car and everything. And you just for me anyway, I clicked in my mind that there was something that I didn't need. And so I just sort of got on with it without having it really and saved that money. It's difficult to really express. There's no real way of being able to tell someone that you can save more and this is how you do it. People have just got to have the will to do it. You can show them the way to do it, and everyone can have great intentions to do it, but you have to just take those steps yourself. You can't rely on someone else to do it for you. And there has to be a fundamental mind shift and a change to be able to do it. And it's something that I would very much recommend if you need to start saving more. And the premise of being able to not afford to buy a gold sovereign, let's say, because you can't save £400, £450 a month, or you can't sort of sit there and say, well, I can only put away £30 a month. That's a start. Put £30 a month away and then buy something that's better for you than an ounce of silver, is what I'm trying to get across here. If you buy an ounce of silver from a dealer, one singular coin with postage, 30, 34, £35, you then go and sell it, you're not going to get your monies back. You're not. And that money is not well spent. Yes, if you wait, gold might go up. If you've got a budget of £30 a month and you save up for 8 months, you will have enough to buy a half sovereign. And that's great. It's a start. But, in 8 months' time, that gold price might have gone up to a point where maybe you have to go for 9 months to be able to buy it. But in my opinion, that's better because you've still bought something that's just more liquid, more suitable to that requirement. So gold, yes, it's unobtainable, but don't fall victim to buying the high premium stuff because you think you can't make ends meet on getting. You think you have to have something now rather than at another time. Gold and silver are long-term holds. They are things that you need to have for decades to really see that return. For me, a lot of the gold I have has been in my possession for 8 years, and that's already yielding fantastic returns. The gold that I've been buying recently, these half sovereigns, for example, is gold that I plan to hold for, I think that rhymed, and I didn't even mean it to, gold that I plan to hold for a very long time, for 10, 20, 30 years, until I am firmly set within my retirement and no longer making videos on YouTube perhaps, and I can't imagine I still will be in 30 years, crikey, could you imagine? Anyway, the point is that I will need to look to sell it, and I will look to sell it then. That's the opportune moment for me at some point in that long distant future. So it doesn't really matter if I buy it now or in 9 months' time, and it doesn't really matter what the price is that I buy it at right now, because I know that there will be a time down the road where that price point will be in my favour. And that's just because of this bigger geopolitical world and the, for want of a better phrase, shitstorm we find ourselves in with finances and global debt and national debt and personal individual debt in this country is out of control. If I could rewrite the education system, I would very much instill savings, understanding about money, even understanding about gold and silver within schools and education. People need to know what saving is about and how you go about doing it and how you go about budgeting. There are too many nuances in this world that people get distracted with shiny things that are not shiny. They don't have any value. The latest iPhone, people buy these things not really thinking about it. They get their contract, £60 a month. Oh, that's great. It's a 24-month contract. You've paid 1,500 quid for your phone. If you just go on eBay and you buy a brand new phone that's not been used for 3 years because it was one of the latest models, it's been sat in a drawer somewhere, somebody's selling it, it's a third of the price. You've got yourself an amazing phone and it's cheap. You can just buy it outright. You don't have to go on finance. If you need a car, go and buy a second-hand car. Yes, they're more expensive than they used to be. That's a problem that we're all experiencing at the moment. But don't buy a car on finance. Finance is the demon of all things that gets you in trouble. The real only exception to that would be around mortgages, because in my opinion, mortgages are something that you're investing in for that long term. You've got that asset at the end of it that will theoretically hold some value and hopefully gain in value over time. I've said a number of times that I always view gold to be basically miniature bricks of a house that you're buying that you haven't quite finished yet. So, you look at this and you think, well, that's X amount of money. I don't even know how much that would be. What we've got, like 10 half sovereigns, maybe 1 or 2 sovereigns that I've picked up. So, looking at about 3 grand there, probably 2.5 grand, 3 grand. So is that a part of a house for me? Yeah, that's like a few bricks that I've got there in my hand. It's the same thing. You can look to keep that wealth over time with gold. You can't do that with a car. You can't do that with a fancy phone. You can't do that with the latest telly or the latest PlayStation. I just think that there's just this willfulness to just throw money away in this world. And I don't want this to become too much of a rant about people's finances. And I'm speaking almost a little bit hypocritically here, because there are plenty of things that I've bought in my lifetime for this channel that have been guilty pleasure purchases that will not make me money, which will lose me money massively. But at the same time, they are done with the knowledge of that up front. They are done with a specific purpose up front. of having some baseline to them. So it's not just for me, I guess it's a very transactional way to live, and not a lot of people will like that, I suppose. There is some argument to be had that you just need to enjoy some elements of life, and having things is part of that, and I get that, and I have that as parts of some of my collection. There are things that I'll have which have absolutely zero value in terms of real world monetary value, but have immense important value to myself. And that's very important to have as well. So you can spend money on things that make you happy, and that arguably would end up making you more money overall, because if you're more happy in life, then you're more happy to go out and be successful. But I've ranted too long, haven't I? I think I've lost transit of where I was really going with this. My point here is that if you are looking to get into gold, the first thing you really should do is think about what kind of thing you want to achieve with it. Don't sit there and think that buying an ounce of silver every month is the way that you can make money, because it's not. You will lose money on your silver if you do it that way. It's just simple maths. If you save up for 3 months and you buy a half sovereign, great, you are fine. You're going to be absolutely great with it. You just need to be careful about when you sell it and how you look to sell it. So there we have it. Where do I think gold will be? Now, that's a question that I've been asked a lot, and it's not something I usually like talking about, but for you backyard bullion ramblers who've sat back to the end of the video to listen to me talk about this, I will say where I think things will be. I think we're going to see 2,000 an ounce this year. Don't know when it will be. I think more likely than not, it will be at the back end of the year, around November. Tends to be that coming to the end of summer, you see a calming of the market, but we're in a weird world right now, and I think that we're going to start to see interest rates coming down, things being announced around that, and it's going to happen. I think we're going to see 2,000 an ounce. Long term, where do I think we'll be? I think we're going to continue with this slow, steady growth. I don't think there's going to be too many other really cheap buying opportunities. On a low side of things for gold, I cannot see gold touching anywhere close to the 1700s again, period. I think that's it. We're done now. That's the 1800 plus is the absolute lowest gold will ever be. We're at 60, something like that right now. That seems like, for what, I don't know what's clicked in my mind, because of course buying some of my gold, as I have done, if I got one of my little sticker capsules there, I don't think I have, or maybe I do. Yeah, so buying gold as long as I have, buying at £1,000 an ounce seems like a long distant memory, and I really want to go back and buy more, but you can't live in the past. So something's clicked in my mind that says, well, back then I bought when it was 1,000 an ounce, and it's now 2,000 an ounce, or nearly, it will be anyway. So I think now, with the way the world is, it's even a worse position than it was 10 years ago. And if I had nothing right now, I'd still be buying gold. I'd be buying a lot more gold than I'm buying right now if I didn't have any. But I'm fortunate that I have some already. So I think we're going to see a doubling of gold. I don't know when that'll be. 10 years? 15 years? 20 years? Who knows? Could be 5 years, the way the world is right now. I don't think we're going to see shoot the moon scenarios. I'm not that kind of a stacker. I'm not that kind of a person. But I do think that having this stuff is very important. So that's why I've got it. And that's my thoughts on the subject. So gold's high, but we'll see how much higher it can go. Now, for you beautiful backyard bullion ramblers, yes, we have a serial number here. Tell me, if you've watched to the end of the video and you're in the Cool Kids Club, what the serial number is on this gold bar. And for those that are listening but not watching, it is RC000191. Put that in the comments and you'll be officially in the Cool Kids Club. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. It's very, very good of you to sit there and listen. And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you all for watching. Oh, news! My coin got out of customs. It's amazing. I've got a cool coin to show you this Friday. The latest nautical coin. It's a bloody nightmare to get through customs though. But we have it. So, see you for that on Friday. Thanks all for watching. See you on the next one. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.